Now this is the last topic of the chapter Chemical Kinetics for the higher secondary students. But for the chemistry honors students, there are as many as parts you have studied so far that is left. So you have to study more parts. Please wait, I will upload it one by one. Now up to for the higher secondary students, this is the last topic, and it is a very important topic. It is the dependence of reaction rate on temperature, and in this topic I will deal mainly with the Arrhenius equation. Now Arrhenius noticed that the rate of reaction increases with increase in temperature. He started with a reaction having moderate rate, and he noticed that the rate of that particular reaction increases when the temperature of the reaction vessel is increased. Now he also observed that for reactions, for all homogeneous reactions with increase in temperature by 10 degrees centigrade, there is an enhancement in the rate by 2 to 3 times. So if a reaction is studied at temperature T, its rate constant say Kt, and then the reaction vessel, temperature of the reaction vessel is increased by 10 degrees centigrade, and again the rate constant for the same reaction, keeping all other parameters constant, is measured. It is observed that the ratio Kt plus 10 by Kt remain between 2 to 3. So this is called the temperature coefficient. For example, if we consider the Williamson synthesis of ether, we take sodium ethoxide here and methyl iodide, then there is a SN2 attack, backside attack, nucleophilic substitution second order, and this I is the leaving group, and we had the ether CH3CH2O CH3, and this is I minus and Na plus, we have the byproduct NaI. Now this has a rate constant K. Now when the reaction is repeated at two different temperatures at 25 degrees centigrade and 35 degrees centigrade, so this is 25 and this is 25 plus 10, so 35, it is found the ratio to be 2.9. So the temperature coefficient for Williamson synthesis for this particular reaction is found to be 2.9. So this is one observation of Arrhenius. So with increase in temperature, rate of the reaction increases, and at the same time there is a temperature coefficient which looks like this. Now upon rigorous study, Arrhenius was able to get lot of data for a reaction having rate constant to vary with temperature. Now he took a particular reaction and he found rate constant K1 for temperature T1, rate constant K2 for temperature T2, rate constant K3 for temperature T3, and so on. for a particular reaction, and many other data. Also, he repeated the same process for different reactions. Now he tried to have a relation between the rate constant and temperature. So he was in search of an empirical equation that relates the rate constant of a reaction with temperature. Now when he tried to have a plot with K versus T, it was an absurd pattern. So he neglected that plot. Now he converted this T1 to capital T1, that is absolute temperature, by adding 273. So we got here T2, T3 and so on. Now when he tried to plot K versus this capital T, again he got an absurd plot which is meaningless and there is no pattern. So he opted for a trial and error method, and he was in search that he will get an equation that will relate the rate constant with temperature. And during this procedure, after several attempts, when he tried to plot log natural rate constant with reciprocal of the absolute temperatures of the corresponding absolute temperatures, he got a pattern. So that is, when he plot ln K versus 1 by T, he got a straight line like this. Now here you see temperature is increasing in the left direction. Now with increase in temperature, you see log natural K increases. So K increases. So here the feature is maintained, that is with increase in temperature rate constant increases. But he found that this log natural K has a linear relationship with this inverse of temperature. So he claimed the equation to be y equal to mx plus c. This is an equation of a straight line. Now in y it should be log natural K, log natural of the rate constant, and in x it is 1 by t. Here is the intercept. Now here will be a negative sign since this has a negative slope, since theta is greater than 90. This is 90 and it is greater than 90. So m will be negative. Now what about the other values? What is the value of the magnitude of the slope and what is the intercept? This he has to know. Now you see, if someone loves to eat mutton, then he has to pay rupees 600 per kg to have the taste of mutton. Now this is not an easy amount, and a mediocre family having a number of dependents, it is impossible to have a greater frequency of consumption of mutton in his or her family. So there is a financial barrier in enjoying mutton. Now what can increase the frequency of consumption of mutton? It is your financial status. Say if your salary is 10,000, it is 10,000 per month, then it is easily understandable that the frequency of consumption of mutton is very less, since you have to maintain other expenses also. There may be house rent, education of children, Now if the salary increases, say from 10,000 to 50,000, then one can easily say that the consumption of mutton may increase from once a week to 3 or 4 times, once a month to 3 or 4 times a month. Now, if there is a financial barrier for any object, that can be overcome by financial status only. So, if there is an increase in the financial status, the financial barrier can be overcome. Now, come to this problem. You see here, with increase in temperature, reaction rate increases. Now, what does increase in temperature do? Increase in temperature within a system indicates that thermal energy of the system is increasing. Thermal energy is entering the system in the form of heat. So, if you increase the temperature of a reaction vessel, it is guaranteed that thermal energy is entering the system in the form of heat and the thermal energy is increasing, so that the temperature rises from T1 to T2. It increases. So, increase in temperature guarantees the increase in the thermal energy in the system. And if the rate increases, what does it indicate? It indicates that there must be an energy barrier. Now, if with increase in your salary, monthly salary, rate of or frequency of mutton consumption increases, it guarantees that mutton is a high priced object. So it has a high price, rupees 600 per kg. Otherwise, if it is free or very less in price, then the increase in salary would not have affected the rate of consumption. So financial barrier is overcome by financial status. So thermal energy increases the rate of reaction, so there must be an energy barrier. This gives us the idea. Now, he understood that there must be some energy barrier in the numerator. So minus here, 1 by T here, and energy barrier in the numerator. That is, more the energy barrier, here is negative, so less will be the rate. More the price of the object, less will be the consumption. So there is an energy barrier. Now see, it's very easy. From intuition one can have it. Now energy is joule per mole of the reaction. Now in the denominator you have Kelvin. Now since this is log natural K, the left side of this equation is dimensionless. So the right side of this equation must also be dimensionless. So EA is joule per mole and here it is Kelvin. So here must be some another parameter which is joule per mole per Kelvin. Obviously this must be present. Since joule per mole will cancel out and this Kelvin and Kelvin inverse will cancel out. So that it will be a dimensionless quantity. Now you search for the term or the parameter which have this dimension. Oh, this is obviously universal gas constant. Only that parameter has this unit, joule per mole per Kelvin. So here one can predict from intuition that it is definitely the universal gas constant. Now, what is M then? M is minus EA by R. So it is a negative slope, R is positive, activation energy is positive. So this is the relation. Now you see, this activation energy will restrict the rate of the reaction and this thermal energy will provide energy to the system to cross the barrier. So there is an interplay between the two that generates the rate of the reaction. Now you make the left hand term free from log natural. So it will be e to the power minus EA upon RT plus C. So it will be e to the power c into e to the power minus A upon RT. Now e to the power c you take it as A. So it is k equals to A into e to the power minus EA upon RT. This is the famous Arrhenius equation. In this way he obtained this equation. Now if in exam it is given in the question that plot ln k versus 1 by t, then you start from this equation, then you take logarithm on both sides, that will give you ln k equals to minus EA by RT plus ln A. So this will be ln A, and you write here the slope, that is m equals to slope equals to minus EA by R. But if they suggest you to plot it by log k versus 1 by t, then if you change log natural by log, it will be another parameter, another term, that is 2.303, and it will be log. So you convert this log natural k to log k and this log natural a to log a. So you will have 2.303 here, 2.303 here, and you divide both sides by 2.303, so you will get this relation. Now in that case the slope will be same thing, but the slope will look like this, minus EA upon 2.303R. Now if you have the data of k versus t, then from the slope you can have the value of activation energy. So you can solve problem using this relation. Now what is the interpretation of this Arrhenius equation? Reactions can be broadly classified into two categories. One is endothermic reaction and another is exothermic reaction. Now the endothermic reaction will look like here. The reactant will have lesser energy than the product. So you have to cross the barrier EA and then you get a small amount of energy. So overall there is absorption of energy by this amount. This amount you have to provide, this amount you get, so overall you have to provide this amount of energy. So this reaction is exothermic. And in case of, this is endothermic. Now in case of exothermic reaction, you have reactant here, you have transition state here. Now here you have to provide this amount of energy to cross the barrier. Now when product is formed, you get this amount of energy. So overall you will get this amount of energy. So this is exothermic reaction. Now in both the cases you see you have to cross the barrier. So whatever may be the reaction, it is endothermic or exothermic, you have to cross the barrier. So Arrhenius equation is valid for both endothermic and exothermic reaction. Now what happens when a catalyst is applied in a reaction? So you have a reaction RROP in case 1 and in case 2 you have the same reaction catalyzed by any species. So say this is the reaction, here you have the reactant and first you get an activated complex, that is the transition state, then you have the product. Now you have to cross the barrier, the reactant molecules have to cross the barrier which is say EA. Now in presence of catalyst, another pathway is designed with less activation energy. So in presence of catalyst, this is the energy profile diagram. This is the energy axis, and the activation energy required in this case is EA prime. So less activation energy is required. Now, keeping the thermal energy, that is temperature of the system, constant, if you apply catalyst, there is a decrease in activation energy. So more and more molecules will be able to cross the barrier. In this way, rate of a reaction increases upon application of a catalyst. So this can be explained easily with the help of Maxwell distribution. This is the probability of having molecules having energy ranging between epsilon and epsilon plus d epsilon, and this is the energy. Now this is the Maxwell distribution at temperature T1. Say now when you take this reaction, this has activation energy of this amount, so it is say here EA. So you see this number of molecules have energy greater than EA, so that the molecules within this domain are eligible to cross the barrier. So that will be the rate. So this number of molecules will cross the barrier. Now when we apply catalyst, activation energy decreases, keeping all other parameters same. So activation energy decreases means now you have the activation energy here, EA prime. So now this number of molecules are eligible to cross the barrier. So you see, compared to case 1, in case 2 you have more number of molecules that are eligible to cross the barrier. So you have an enhanced rate. Now what about the inherent feature of Arrhenius equation, that is with increasing temperature what happens? This can also be explained by the Arrhenius, by Maxwell distribution. Here you have the probability, here you have the energy. Now at two different temperatures, the plot will look like this. So this is T1, this is T2, obviously T2 greater than T1. With increasing temperature, the width of the spectrum increases. So you have a broader spectrum at a greater temperature. Now for a particular reaction, you are increasing the temperature. So particular reaction is assigned with a particular activation energy, say this one. Now at temperature T1, this number of molecules are eligible to cross the barrier. So you have the rate corresponding to this number. Now when you increase the temperature, more and more molecules enter into this activation energy domain. So you have larger number of molecules that are eligible to cross the barrier. So you have an enhanced rate. So with increase in temperature, more and more molecules gain the thermal energy which is greater than the activation energy required for the reaction to happen, and the reaction rate increases. Now Arrhenius equation is explained, is interpreted by collision theory, which I will discuss in very detail for honor student. Now for higher secondary level, I will discuss only the important parts without the proper derivation. Now if we look into the Arrhenius equation, we will see that it is like this. Now as per collision theory, which attempted to give a theory which can construct this empirical equation and to give it a theoretical support. Now collision theory is saying that, say there is a reaction like this. So here it is A plus B, and they are colliding with each other to have an activated complex. This is the transition state, and you have the product here. Now it is this collision which provides this activation energy. As per collision theory, it is this collision when two molecules collide, the energy required for this for crossing the barrier is gained, and this activated complex later on convert to product. Now see, in an assembly there will be collision between A and A. So this cannot give you product. There will be collision between B and B. This will not yield you product. And there will be collision between A and B. Only this can give you product. So total number of collisions, this is the total number of collisions, say Z, it must be multiplied by a factor, so that it gives only ZAB. So only collisions having proper stoichiometry can lead you to the product. So only ZAB is functional. Now, if you have the dimerization of NO2, say, then I am not getting into the details of the bond. So only this collision can generate the dimer. But if it collide in this orientation, then the dimerization will not occur. So see, even if the collision satisfies the stoichiometry, if it is devoid of proper orientation, then there will be no product. So again you have to multiply it by a factor, that is the steric factor P. So it indicates that this is the number of collisions having proper stoichiometry, and when we multiply it by this one, it will give us the number of collisions with proper stoichiometry and proper orientation. So this is the number of eligible attempts to cross the barrier. When they collide, they gain energy. Now this attempt is eligible when you have proper stoichiometry and proper orientation. So this is the A in equation, in the Arrhenius equation. So this is the steric factor, this is the frequency factor. Frequency means number of attempts reactant molecules are trying to cross the barrier. Now not all eligible attempts will be successful. Only those will be successful which have the sufficient energy to cross the barrier. So you have number of collisions with proper stoichiometry and proper orientation, that is the frequency factor. There is total number of successful attempts, total number of attempts which are eligible, and among them only those will be successful which have the necessary energy. So this is the energy restriction, and this is the steric factor and the stoichiometry restriction. Now combining this will give you the successful number of reactions. So this is K, and this is how reaction rate, if rate constant depends on temperature, reaction rate will also depend on temperature. So this is how Arrhenius equation interprets how rate of reaction depends on temperature.